Foundation 45 is a 501c3 nonprofit that funds counseling services for mental health, addiction, and suicide survivors. In addition to providing services, it works to break the stigma surrounding these topics. Foundation 45 recognizes that musicians, artists, and creative types are often at a higher risk for issues with mental health and addiction. The organization's goal is to serve the Dallas-Fort Worth creative community by providing free, top-tier mental health and recovery services. You can learn more about Foundation 45 at foundation45.org. Foundation 45. Live fast, die old. I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast. So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? Who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all for us? This week on the Dallas Famous Podcast, we have Sunny Marcell. Sunny is the bassist and co-pilot of the band Sunny Disposition. She also leads Karaoke Weekly and is about to start doing solo gigs, just her and her bass. We get to know Sunny and follow along on her story as she almost by accident steps into the spotlight to become a singer. Sunny is magnetic on stage and a delight in this chat. I know you'll dig it. Here's Sunny Marcell. We are back in my guest room with the lovely Sunny Marcell.
Hi.
Hi.
It's so good seeing you again.
You too. I feel like we taking a road trip together today.
Hardly.
These levels together. I
always need a good excuse to get out the house.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I had a good excuse, but here we are at my house.
No, it's cool.
This room before Christmas and before my appendicitis was much cleaner, but I can't move. Like now I can.
It's tidy.
I'm good. Yeah, it's guest room.
It's tidy.
It's a bonus room,
there you
as
go.
They say. Anyway.
That's what our studio is.
Yeah.
Like the guest room / sleep room. Got a little couch.
Right. Yeah.
Cozy.
It hasn't come into play yet, but it will for sure. Yeah. Enough about that. Sunny, you are a singer. You play bass. You lead karaoke.
Goodness.
Let's start at the beginning. Like,
okay.
You're not originally from Dallas, right?
No, I am.
You are? Okay.
I'm born and raised. A lot of people are surprised by that too, because I don't have the accent, apparently.
Oh, well, I'm surprised because I did some research and I thought you were from Abilene.
I went to school out there, and that was actually very, very short-lived.
Okay. So you're a Dallas girl. Okay.
I'm a Dallas baby.
Like what part of town?
North Garland.
Okay.
Well, this is what I tell everybody. I slept in Garland, but I lived in Dallas.
I like that.
Yeah, because I went to school in Dallas, I went to church in Dallas, I worked in Dallas, all of my friends are in Dallas, I was always going to shows in Dallas.
Right.
My dad did art shows in Dallas. I was always in Dallas.
Right.
But my address says Garland.
Yeah. That's I grew up mostly in Munster, Indiana, but we were like the satellite of Chicago, and it's all Chicago media. So
yes.
I don't say I grew up in Chicago, but I feel like I kind of did.
Yeah.
You know? So when did, what's the beginning? What's the first memory you have of music is not just a thing. It's something much more than just this thing.
My mother told me it started when she was pregnant with me.
What?
She would turn on the radio and I would just start moving. She could not drive and go to work pregnant with me. I was doing too much. And then as soon as I was walking and talking, my parents got me this little guitar and mic stand. There's a YouTube video of that. My dad put one out on his YouTube account, and you could see little baby me barely saying full words, just strumming away and doing a song, doing a whole set in the living room on Christmas Day. It all started back then.
Wow. So your whole life.
The whole life.
Before you were even born.
Before I was even born. I was always in choir. I was always taking some kind of class. And And I kind of wish I was a little more classically trained on some of the instruments that I play and had like money to pay for the resources for it. But, maybe in due time.
Well, but also, it's what you do with it. And I mean,
we get creative with it. That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, so you had a guitar even early on. Like, when did you so you're singing in choir, singing in church.
If anything, my dad was probably my biggest enabler too. He bought me my first 2 bass guitars.
How old were you when you got the first one?
I was 12.
Okay. That's a good age for it.
And at first, I started off actually so I started playing keys when I was young. I was about maybe like 6 or 7, toying on a keyboard, self-taught. And then I finally wanted to take lessons, and I got a little frustrated taking lessons because, I should have appreciated trying to learn the basics of ABCs and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. But I was already playing Canon and D at that point, self-taught. So I was like,
yeah.
Teach me how to play the hard
right. And they were just like,
I wanted to get into it. I played clarinet in band from middle school through high school.
Okay, wow.
I was in marching band. I did a lot musically as a kid. I was busy.
Yeah.
I stayed busy.
Do you like musicals and stuff like that?
I wish.
Oh, okay.
You know how badly I wanted to be in a musical? Well, okay, so I was a little actor too.
Okay.
Yours truly was Romeo in Romeo and Juliet in the 8th grade production at Good Shepherd Catholic School.
Wow.
I was seriously like unanimously voted just during the script reading, just doing the reading. Day 1. And immediately all the girls are just like, can she please be Romeo? Like, nobody else is going to do it that good.
Wow.
That's it. And it was a good production.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just, no more acting?
No, then I got busy in band. And
yeah.
In high school, especially I went to Bishop Lynch. So it was like I was busy. Doing marching band we have on our block days, some days we'd get at school at 6:00 in the morning, start practice. And then you have band for first period, leaving band at like 9:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you like a competitive marching band or?
A little bit. We did do competitions. We did take home our first state championship title in 2006 or 2005 that fall. It was a great year. Trophies around the board. Best drum major, best wind section, best color guard, best percussion ensemble.
Wait, were you a drum major? Or?
I was not. I wanted to be.
Oh, I see. Like your drum major.
I was a clarinet player.
Right. I played sax in marching band for 1 year, but we were not competitive. And
the sax, those were the competitive kids. Everybody that played saxophone was in the jazz band.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like instantaneously. Maybe half of the drum line was too, switching off on different instruments, but every single sax player and trombone player, they were in jazz band.
Huh.
But that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them actually went off to college and did marching band.
Wow. So you're doing clarinet. I mean, you're singing at the same time. Are you doing any kind of organized singing yet?
I was actually in like one of my first little rock bands my freshman year of high school.
Oh, okay.
It actually kind of started at church. Shout out Deanna, I love you to bits. Shout out Katie, miss you to bits. And we started this cute little church punk band, and we wrote our first song on a napkin in blue highlighter. Like, God Loves You. And we just went in, and we even did like a little punk version of Little Drummer Boy. We kind of got thrown off the stage because it went too long. That little guitar solo was a little too long. They were just like, okay, babies, that's enough. Like, Hamilton Park was not ready for a little rock band to just come out and just
yeah
give them that.
That's funny. Yeah, it doesn't seem like punk and church necessarily mixed.
But it was really cool. They let me play bass with the youth choir too.
Oh, cool.
So I was all over the place.
And so, like, at what point were you like, I want to do something more with this? Like, school's going to end, and
I don't know when it began. I kind of had a feeling that I always wanted to do music in some capacity. And when I moved to Denton, I was in 2 bands out there, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Soft Morning City, the Velvet Army. I was an all-girl band, and we actually took that one on the road with us a few places. And that band consists of to me, some local superstars.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've had Poppy on.
Yeah, I had Ellie Meyer, Chelsea Danielle, Lydia Lowe, Poppy Xander. It was...
That's like an all-star cast.
That was the money-making band.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would like to see
the money-making band.
That revive. I mean, side note, but there was like that Facebook thread where King Clam was looking for a bassist. Did you ever work out with them at all?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The timing didn't work out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
And honestly, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
They need somebody that's going to be dedicated to them. Because
they need a full-time thing.
They absolutely do. Just like Yolanda Cruz and the Daydreamers. Like, I couldn't give them the time that they needed because my schedule just doesn't work like that right now.
Sure.
And I'm glad that they're all thriving and doing their own thing. And I'm glad they found somebody that's dedicated, because my place is clearly permanent in Sunny Disposition. Like I'm not really allowed to go far. Right. Josh isn't either.
Yeah.
Definitely not Simon. Like, the three of us, I don't think could be really interchangeable.
Do you have any, like, I mean, I'm skipping around at this point, influences? I remember I've only saw you once, and you're intense. You were mesmerizing, honestly. I mean, you're not the only lead. It's like a kind of a co-lead.
Yeah.
But it's hard to take your eyes off of you, when you're performing. So I'm just curious, like, I mean, obviously you had a lot of different like performing big influences, but like, specifically, is there like some musical influences that, like,
for me personally, it kind of goes all over the place. Heavily influenced by Queen. Love me some Freddie Mercury. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Alkaline Trio fan. They've been my favorite band since I was 12.
Okay, so I honestly don't know them.
Oh, you should look them up.
What kind of music is that? Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. I want to say they're like emo, goth, punk.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
kind of that mesh.
Check that out.
And they just dropped a new album, and it finally hit 1 million streams, so I'm so happy for them. Nice. I actually got to perform with them.
Ooh.
During a sold-out show in Austin, like 2021. And it was wild for me because that was the same month I also got asked to do a song with Bully in Dallas. So that was like, oh my gosh. So I always say I did the abridged version of the song Radio because I missed the second verse, but it's kind of easy to do when it's a song that you've listened to for like 20 years, but every time it comes on, you kind of skip it.
Right. Because it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite song.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, and a lot of people will tell you like that's not her favorite song at all. I have a whole thread of others, but that's not it.
Right.
Like I said, Bully is also an inspiration to me.
Yeah,
I love Alicia.
It's like Bully's her, or is it the band, or?
I want to say it's mainly her.
Okay. She
does a lot of the songwriting, a lot of the recordings, a lot of the engineering.
I shot them open for Pixies. I think
I was at that show.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, like I wasn't expecting this to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I saw them when they released their self-titled album. Well, not the self-titled album, but their first album. And when was it? 2018 at Club Dada. And that was such a rager of a show. And I'd just been going to every single Dallas show that I possibly can when she's around.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. So all right, so you're in Denton, you have two bands, then what happens? Like,
well, what usually happens to a lot of people to make you move back home. I got dumped and
oh, okay.
No, it's fine. He did me a huge favor.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those relationships, like we were always better off as friends anyway.
Right.
And it's still true. Like we support each other in everything that we do. But I even knew from the beginning of me dating him, I was like, I'm not supposed to date this man.
Huh. Right.
Like, I don't think I want to date you. But and he was just like, but what are we doing? And I'm just like, oh, well, I guess we are kind of going out. And it didn't work out, and it's fine because I ended up moving back home, and it wasn't even 6 months later I met my fiance. Well, reconnected with my fiance.
Right. So
I
when you left,
met him while I was dating my ex.
Oh, Gotcha. When you left Denton, like you had to leave the bands because it was just too much.
Well, we were already at a point where we were on a hiatus anyway, and all the girls were starting to venture out and do their own things.
Sure.
And I was kind of having this moment of, well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I guess this is the time for me to like figure it out. And I've had a lot of people tell me that I make a pretty good front woman. So I was going to test the waters of that. And I started going to open mics a lot all around the Metroplex because I did open mics in Denton once in a while. And sometimes to get your little feet wet, you need to hit up some open mics.
Oh, yeah.
And network and meet some people. And going to open mics, I ended up going to an open mic at Tudas. And I was working at Ellen's at the time. And Ellen's was like a blessing and a curse for me at the same time because of Ellen's, I met a lot of really amazing people because of the Tudas family. Like the Scott family have been nothing but amazing to all of us. I met Drew, Deanna at Tudas.
Oh, yeah.
I met Waffles at Tudas. And I got into karaoke at Tudas. And because of hosting karaoke, I met my drummer. And because meeting Simon at karaoke, Josh lived 5 minutes away from me at the time when I was living off of Coy and Campbell, and went to rehearsal, and it was like, clicked.
Wow.
Right. It's weird how that all just works out.
Yeah, because like there, you know, you were in a few bands, and I mean, how long ago was that you guys kind of started playing together?
About 6 years ago now.
Yeah, that's a long time for a band. I mean, and like it seems like based on like your media attention that you're actually really getting to the noticed at this point. So let's talk about the karaoke for a second.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it was that recently that you started doing that. And then you've like expanded, or you've done them at other places?
I've done them at other places.
And does that kind of make you like people that's like, that's how they know you? They don't.
Honestly, for me, I just like karaoke, and I just like karaoke for me is my stage practice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Kind of just like, let me work on my vocals. Let me try out a couple of songs. Because, I mean, we're not really a cover band, but I don't mind performing a couple of covers. Sure. I mean, it just, again, your instrumentation in Sunny Disposition, so I don't have my notes, but you, like on your website, it's like a power reggae, what do you call it? Yeah, power trio.
With reggae.
Like indie reggae, pop punk rock.
Yeah, so.
And someone asked me, they're like, so it's like a ska band. I'm like, it's not a ska band because we have no horns. We don't get to pick it up, but we can pick it up.
Younger me, I gave you my love, hell, I gave you everything. I thought I was the woman who drove you crazy, but no, it ain't me, and that's part of what makes me crazy. For I will walk 100 miles to come up to your doorway, whisper the sweet words of war, how I love the war, how I love you. I love you. I used to walk up to your doorway, whisper the sweet words of war, how I love, oh how I love you. I love you. Oh yes I do. sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you.
I love you.
Oh yes I. I used to walk up to your doorway, whisper the sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you.
I love you.
I used to walk up to your doorway, whisper the sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you.
I love
Whisper the sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you. Whisper the sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you. Whisper sweet words of oh how I love, oh how I love you. Oh yes I.
Well, so wait, so who's your ska reggae influences then?
Mainly, especially for the boys, I think it's safe to say definitely the Police.
Oh God, I love the Police.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sting is a solid bass player, solid vocalist, and we
yeah.
even do a Message on a Bottle cover.
Mm.
And we've been thinking about adding a couple of more Police covers
Walking on
into
the
the
Moon,
mix.
please.
That's definitely one that we're want
Yeah.
to throw into the mix. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'll do the music video.
And
for that.
even So Lonely.
Yeah, I used to do a So Lonely into With or Without You.
Oh,
Like it was kind of a good little medley and like vocally.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I don't know if they're the same chords, but I made them the same chords.
Can make it the same. That's what transposing is all
Oh
about.
yeah, absolutely. I remember you had a post a while ago, and you were talking about how like you were like all of a sudden you're getting this different kind of attention. Like what? I don't even know how to ask this question exactly, but like it's like being a woman in this world that's so male dominant. I mean, you have two guys in your band. Like, what is that changing? Is that still like as messed up as it was?
I've noticed that it's definitely changing. I love going to a show and not being the only chick on the bill. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And usually I'm the only black chick on the bill.
Right.
And the more, especially if you get to like branch out a little bit, there are other amazing artists out there, female, black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, like they're, especially women, they're out there. Like I wish they were getting a little more attention. Like I need Dana Harper to blow up.
Oh, I just scheduled her, by the way.
I love her. I
Yeah.
need her to blow up.
Now, do you think what do you think that is? Is it because the guys like are more proactive with their promotion? Is it because they're just,
I
don't
would
know.
hardly say that. I mean, I do all the promotion in our band.
Right.
But I think it's because for the most part, there's just more of them out there, especially more of them that like have their bros that are working these locations and know who's booking and possibly can get an ear in. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, for some ladies, you know, one of y'all got to be kind of cute, you know, get seen, or you got to be real good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because there's like crappy dude bands all the time.
And at the beginning of our band career, we were getting booked with a lot of subpar, really loud, kind of dude brodish bands. Mm-hmm. And I kind of didn't get why. But at the same time, that was our time to like do what we do and start getting people to look and say, hey, I could listen to that. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
what we were trying to get at.
Yeah, no, I mean, and also you do a lot of, I see, streaming, and is that
Trying
right?
to definitely do more.
Yeah.
Since we're going to be taking some time away from the stage, we will be doing a lot more live streaming and getting content ready for the new EP that we're about to release.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when are you going to do that?
Oh, the date's not set yet.
Okay. The wedding date set, though.
The wedding date is set.
Is that what's like pausing the live stuff?
Oh, it's not even just that. Josh is about to have a baby in April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so both. I'm getting married next month, and Josh is about to be a daddy.
Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations to the
Yeah,
whole
I'm
Sunny D crew.
so excited.
Yeah. That's cool stuff.
It is. Life be lifing.
Yeah. So like that's gonna change. I think is that gonna mean less? I mean, you don't really tour now anyway.
Yeah.
So is that gonna mean less live stuff, or are you just gonna?
We're just gonna be really a little more pickier about the live stuff. I feel like, and lately we really have been anyway because, we got schedules to maintain, and if there's not much of a compensation for it, it's kind of just like I gotta schlep all my stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta be there all night, and I already gotta spend money on advertising, which I have no problem doing anyway. But it's like
No, I mean it's like you're the modern band, I guess, in a way. It's like you can get us. You just turn on your computer. It's not gonna be or your phone. It's not gonna always be in person,
Yeah.
But that's smart. I mean, in general, like, what do you? Oh, I just now noticed the bully shirt. I don't know, it took me that long.
Champion. This is Mezzy. May she rest in peace. That's her baby girl.
Like, so like, there's a lot of talk too about this scene here, this Dallas music scene, where there's all this talent and like these venues are closing.
There is and that's what worries me a little bit too, because one of our other favorite spots is about to shut its doors at the end of March too.
Is that Six Springs?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been reading those posts. I guess he's done, huh?
And they have such an amazing stage and an amazing sound system and video monitors and, streaming online. It sucks for a lot of these local original bands because there are so many good ones out here. They're fantastic. The showmanship, the musicianship, it's on point. They dress. They have outfits. And I just don't get why the draw also kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes on.
There's a lot.
That could be part of it. But,
There's a whole lot.
But yeah, it's...
But it is going to make it a whole lot harder if more music venues shut down.
Right.
For any of us to even stand a chance to start venturing out to go other places.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for a band like you that you're not really touring is never going to be on the agenda. It's like, I don't know. It's that's the question I ask on almost every episode. I feel like on the Bigfoot, like, who do you think Bigfoot is? Like, what do you think the live music scene is? Exactly.
I feel like we still do really good to be able to book shows with people that we love seeing and playing with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like...
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Some people just don't get that live thing, but it's just like there's nothing like it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got into it kind of young, too. Like, I was going to battle of the bands with friends in high school. I was a band promoter in high school.
Oh, you were?
I was a band promoter in high school. I forgot that little flash of history.
Right. Well, let me... So, I guess I'm just not like kind of coming into cognizance of this. So you really were just in bands and you were doing music and you were in choirs. You weren't a front person until Sunny Disposition.
I would hardly say I'm at the front, though.
Well, okay, you're sharing the
We're
front.
sharing. I'm the co-pilot.
But the point is that like you weren't even that in other bands, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, so I mean that like I feel that way. There's a lot of performers like I see, and I'm like, when are you going to make the leap? Or you don't need to make the leap. That's not your role. But I mean, were you singing in other bands? Like,
I think what clicked was when I was in the Velvet Army and I started presenting like the couple of songs that I presented. The reaction from just those two songs where I got to sing lead on it, people were just like, why aren't you doing that more? And so when we kind of went on a hiatus, I did take some time to just work on the few other songs that I have and start building a set. And then I ended up having enough songs later to go to open mics comfortably and rotate a couple of songs out. And then when I met Josh and Simon, we jammed a couple of my songs and they actually really liked them. So I guess the consistency of hearing good things about what I was doing was kind of the push I needed. Versus had an ex before that told me I can't do this and I shouldn't do this. I know, the gall.
Yeah. Seriously, like who the hell does he think?
He don't even live in the state no more.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, so you weren't ever sitting there going, I wish I could do that. It was just kind of like it just came because of the response. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess you were telling me you're going to do some solo stuff coming up.
Yeah. Like I used to go to open mics, just me and my bass, and
You were doing just your bass, okay?
oh yeah, literally.
I feel
And
like I did that back in the
people
day.
were just like, in a room full of everybody having a guitar, and me literally being the only bass player that sings in the room. People were stunned.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah.
just like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Drew told me when he first saw me perform at his open mic at Tudas. He was like, "Honey, you and that bass, that's magic. You need to do more of this."
So when you do these solo shows, it's going to be you and bass?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Do you have like effects or is it straight up?
I'm thinking about getting me a little chroma console. Maybe have a little effects, add a little pizzazz, but we'll see. I kind of do just like plug and play and just going straight for it because that's how I practice and that's how I write my songs.
I mean, I'm not telling you need to add anything to it.
I mean,
that
and it's
sounds
like,
cool.
why not? Why not? Why add anything to it if I don't need to?
No,
I have a couple of YouTube videos up with just me and my bass, and I'm gonna take some time to make some more.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm a little overdue. It's been a few years since I've sat down and did a little recording, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, but if you sit down, you do like 5-6 songs if you can, then you have content.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep recording them forever. But
I like sometimes I'll do like 3 in a day.
yeah, like my perception is you do pretty well with the promotion. How does it feel? Like you feel like you're getting the response that you're hoping for?
Sometimes the algorithm really be algorithming wrong.
Oh, tell me about that. I don't even want to talk about it.
The algorithming really be not working sometimes,
Yeah.
but for the most part, yeah. Especially when I promote things at work, people are about it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I love that my Starbucks are like some of my biggest cheerleaders.
That you're what?
My Starbucks people are my biggest cheerleaders.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything else that I forgot to ask you? Because my notes are somewhere.
I don't think so.
Okay. And so just Sunny Disposition, solo gigs, more karaoke.
Definitely more karaoke.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for following me all across the city for
Dude,
this
thank
podcast.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks again. I'd like to thank my guest, Sunny Marcell. We heard the song Miles to Regret from her band Sunny Disposition. You can check out more on the links in the show notes. Theme song, Unstoppable by Salim Nuralla. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff, and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.